वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेशमनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्य माव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्। सन्नियं येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषामव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिरवाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः। मय्यार्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो युज्यते लोको लोकान्नो युज्यते जयः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगै मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः। अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्षः उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समः सङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिरमौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाना भक्तास्तेऽतीव मे प्रियः ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता सूपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे भक्तियोगो नाम द्वादशोऽध्यायः हरिः ओम तत्सत् हरिः ओम तत्सत् हरिः ओम तत्सत् श्री कृष्ण परमस्तु शुभं भूयात् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
उपस्थित भगवत भक्तों के रूप में मेरी अपनी ही आत्माओं, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता भगवान के मुखार बिंद से निकली हुई अमर वाणी है और जो भी जीव श्रद्धा सहित इस अमर वाणी को धारण करता है वो जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति करता है, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं। ये जीवात्मा चाहे जिस देश में रहे और चाहे जिस भेष में रहे, गीता सबका सब काल में समान रूप से कल्याण करने वाला एक अनुपम एवं अलौकिक ग्रंथ है।
Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, Ham. We'll be starting the healing sound for 14 minutes, 21 seconds.
Okay, thank you.
सुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशम् तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलम् सर्वधी साक्षिभूतम् भवातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. ध्यानमूलं गुरुरमूर्तिः पूजामूलं गुरोः पदम् मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यम् मोक्षमूलं गुरोः कृपा. मोक्षमूलं गुरोः कृपा. निर्माणमोह चित्तसङ्गदोषा आध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामा द्वन्द्वे विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसंज्ञे गच्छन्त्यमूढा परमव्ययं तत् सर्वस्य चाहम् हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञा नमपोहनं च वेदेषु सर्वे रहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृतवे तविदेव चाहम्. You can now slowly and gently open your eyes and know that you are a unique and beautiful spiritual being of pure consciousness, and all you have to do is to shine brightly, and you will be helping the world and the universe. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. Stay blessed.
Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. I'm sure you all had a very good Diwali function. And I want to thank Amonji for conducting beautifully this technological thing, which is not most of us cup of tea. Thank you, Amonji. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Yoshiji. I wanted to, before you lead on, I wanted to show a few things because I have never shown before. Actually, this is my second time only. Can I take 1 minute maximum?
Yes, go ahead. Please take 2-3 minutes, then we begin the second part of the program.
Over here in Thailand, we in Geeta Ashram, Thailand, right? I don't know how many of you have been there. So there is Mr. Govind Nandwani ji, right? And he has created this beautiful website. I conduct youth class myself. Only few times I have done in the past. Last year for 10 weeks, and this year I have done for 3-4 weeks, 2-3 weeks, where I take contents from his websites and I teach to students also. And so I use this platform. And in the youth club, there was once in the past year, I was doing this conch competition where I was asking kids to blow a conch, and it was around similar timing to this year. And surprisingly, Ajahn Vilai Kun Geeta Kiran yesterday sent me a sound of conch, and she was saying, Amon, I want you to incorporate this to the audio. And so I was really goosebumps, and I was really like, oh my god. So somewhere somehow the energy is flowing through me also. I am not sinned, I am not disconnected to Gurudev. So so this was one encounter that I wanted to share with all of our Geeta ashram family. Second thing, in Geeta Ashram Thailand, I'm not sure why, but there are not a lot of girls. Okay, so I have I have lived my entire youth without any the same age girls around me in Geeta Ashram Thailand. But there was one kid, a bit younger to me, 5-6 years younger. She is Bhavnani, and she drew this wonderful picture of Sri Krishna and Radhaji. In her school, I think she won a competition also. She's from Thailand. She visits Geeta Ashram Thailand not often. Now they don't come at all. I don't know why, but I thought let's bring this photo in and share with people from other Geeta Ashram country. And I also want to show you a picture that I drew when I was in college. Yep. So this Gurudev Maharaj drawing I drew when I was in college, and this was the first revelation that I had without any external force and external people forcing me to go see, believe, or anything. I had revelation. I drew this picture and was really touched during the college time. And I think it was the prime time for me to be blessed, because I want to become really good scholar and help my parents, because we have lived a little bit financial struggling the whole life. So it was really good time. So I drew this. I also drew, Krishna Arjuna scene. We're writing 12 names of Arjuna. I wanted to share here. Arjuna. So the 12 names of Arjuna is Arjuna, Falgun, Dhananjaya, Vijaya, Partha, Falguni, Gudakesh, Sabyasachi, Kiriti, Jishnu, Shweta Vahana, Bibhatsu, Kapithwaja, Parantapa, Gandiv Dhanwa, and Krishna also. So some saint told me once that even Arjuna's another name is also Krishna. That's why they say Krishna spoke and Krishna listened. I don't know if that knowledge is correct or not, but however, in all the entire Gita, there are around 12 to 15 names of Arjuna, and I have written down here around 14 to 15 names. Yep. So I really like that shloka where Arjuna is, requesting to Krishna that all my entire career I have addressed you as a friend, but I never knew that you are so great. Somehow it's very similar to me with other people in my life, such as Achan Vilai and some other esteemed member of ashram. So the shloka is Sakheti Matva Prasabham Jaduktam He Krishna He Jadav He Sakheti Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam Maya Parmadat Pranayena Vapi. My entire life I have addressed you as a friend, as a sakha, but I've never realized how great you are. So that is something I wanted to share. Yeah, that's it, Achan. Thank you so much.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a blessing to all of us. Thank you, Josiji. This is already so great, the presentation from Thailand.
Yeah,
It's a mighty blessing.
Amanji is a wonderful thing, and we hope to see you every week on Thursday, Amanji. Yes, Krishna to everyone. We start our regular programming now, and welcome to all of you. I'm sure you all enjoyed beautiful Diwali program. Wish all of you to have a wonderful year. We also call it New Year. And this time, I want to request our esteemed, respected Narendra Bhai Kapoorji to please take it and share some beautiful, expensive, invaluable jewels from Bhagavad Gita. Kapoor Sahib.
Jai Shri Krishna. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanur Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam Michhami Tvam Drashtum Aham Tathaiv Teneva Rupen Chatur Bhujena Sahasrabaho Bhava Vishwamurte Sahasrabaho Bhava Vishwamurte. Srimad Bhagavad Gita was emanated from the lotus lips of Bhagavan Shri Krishna approximately 5,000 years before. Its applicability is universal. There are 700 verses divided into 18 chapters. There are 3 schools of thoughts: the yoga of action, the yoga of devotion, the yoga of knowledge. Today we will try to share. I was really touched by Aman's beautiful, honest expression at his young age. And it is phenomenal. Kindly keep it up. Keep it up. Give a patting on your back. Having said that, the other day I was watching something phenomenal. The unedited VN seen through Hubble scope by the NASA scientists. And they were showing that there are billions and trillions galaxies moving with the speed of light in this space. And this tiny Earth on which we pretend to live, it is a little speck on one of the galaxies. There are millions of galaxies like that, but we belong to one galaxy. And our tiny Earth is hanging there like a little speck, this shot at the tiniest spot. And in that galaxy, there are trillions of stars, which are bigger and bigger and bigger than this planet. And this planet on which we live, it is crowded with 7.8 billion people like us. And these 7.8 billion people, they have their own creation of ego. Through their ego, they have created their own space. And it is phenomenal that these galaxies, the nearest galaxy in which this Earth is a part, it is about 200 million light years from where we live now here. So having said that, when you have that phenomenal view, it is mind-boggling the way we live on this planet. We think that we are the permanent resident, and that is the way we are living on a day-to-day basis. There are few people who treat themselves as a visitor, and they have adjusted their day-to-day life according to the dictation of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. But most of the people, most of the time, they are living in their own world. They have created their own cages of ego, and they are very happy. They are very happy. They have no idea what is the out-of-box thinking. They have such an iron-clad cage in which they only survive for themselves. And that is the tragedy. The same scenario came in front of Arjuna in chapter 11, which we just referred to, and my dear friend, he just mentioned one of the verses, Kritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam. This verse, which I am referring to, chapter 11, Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam Michhami Tvam Drashtum Aham Tathaiva Teneva Rupen Chaturabhujena Sahastra Baho Bhava Vishwamurti. When Arjuna saw the celestial vision of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the Vishwarup, he was trembling. He could not assemble that information in his tiny understanding. Every iota of his body was trembling. He was imploring the Lord, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, to please come back to your own human form. I want to see you as my friend, my Sakha, holding Sudarshan Chakra in one hand. So this is what happens to all of us. Once we realize the phenomenal creation around us, and we understand the concept that we are nowhere near anything, but the way we are living on this planet is totally 360-degree reverse. All our daily lives are totally in a reverse order. And that's the tragedy. That means we don't understand the fineness of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna at many, many places brought to the attention of Arjuna that stay detached from the things. Only then you can perform your best duty. If you are attached to the worldly things, you are creating your own limitations. And that is not the topmost performance. That's not the optimum level of your performance. जो आपके धर्म की बात है, जो अपना इंडिविजुअल ड्यूटी है, उसको तो कर नहीं सकता unless you come out of this cage. And that is called out of the box thinking. So my humble request to all of us is try to understand the refinedness, the scientific approach of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In this particular verse, when he saw the humongous creation at one place, he was totally baffled. And that is the reality. Because with our naked eye, our vision is very limited. We cannot see. We got to believe Srimad Bhagavad Gita because it is coming out of the lotus lips of Lord Krishna. Each and every information coming out of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is scientific statement. But the only thing is that we have to understand its right perspective. Otherwise, we misapply, misuse, abuse, we drag the information to our own level, and we make many interpretations. We have to uplift ourselves to that level. The bar of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is very high. We have to uplift ourselves. Don't bring the bar up to your own level. So in order to live in this, on this planet, in the light of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, especially chapter 11, which is the celestial vision. Okay, look at Arjuna, but we cannot explain his pain when he saw this entire universe at one place. So now, since we have the information, we should use that information. And this was the macro form which I am talking. But in the micro form also, the physics dictates that our body, in our body, the smallest part is molecule. And then down below that, there is atom. There is a neutron, proton, nucleus. That is the smallest invisible entity in our body. So this looks like the same replica, the macro form and micro form. We are the representation of the entire universe. That is what I am trying to say. And when we say Bhagavan Shri Krishna is seated in your heart, that is what it means. That is what it means. You are the center of the creation. But we don't think that way. We indulge worldly affairs, small things. We accumulate so many things during our journey. We don't think we are a traveler. And that is the tragedy. We suffer so much. Our suffering is very painful. Emotional suffering, physical suffering, and it goes on and on and on. But it looks like there is no Bhagavan Shri Krishna living in us. If Bhagavan Shri Krishna is living in the heart of everybody, then there should not be any suffering. But we don't believe. We don't believe. And that is a human tragedy. Saints, seers, rishis, munis, who believed this concept, they were not suffering. They were levitating. They uplift every iota of the society. They gave much knowledge to the society. But we, at our end, we are not the true receptive. Our receptivity has been compromised through the management of our ego. So to understand that Bhagavan Shri Krishna is omnipotent, omnipresent, it is not a theoretical statement. It is a practical wisdom. But since we lose our sensitivity, we don't see Bhagavan Shri Krishna Kankana. We don't see Bhagavan Shri Krishna is omnipotent. We think the universe is revolving around us. And you have seen people, many people, not one, two, many people, who think, profoundly think, that the world is revolving around them because the ego is very strong. And the other test of very strong ego is that those people are angry. Angry. Little thing will bring the anger in them. And when you are angry, that is the downfall of the individual. Bhagavad Gita gives you a lot of impetus, a lot of force, a lot of wisdom. Try to find peace within you. It is there. The other name of peace within you, that try to convince yourself that Bhagavan Shri Krishna is seated in my heart. And that is the indirect message coming out, celestial wisdom coming out of chapter 11 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, on these forums where we meet and greet each other, let us spread this word. Challenge yourself. Don't run away. Maharaj Ji, our great Swami Hariharji Maharaj, he was the pivot of this knowledge. He created so much wisdom at 7 continents. And we are the eyewitness. Joshi Ji. We didn't know anything about Srimad Bhagavad Gita. But now, with his blessings and Bhagavan Shri Krishna's Ashirvad, we digested the information and we are trying to share at our own level under the direction of Swami Hariharji Maharaj. So let us take a pledge today that I have to refine my thinking and put profound conviction and practice day in, day out that Bhagavan Shri Krishna is seated in my heart. You will be totally transformed. Your eating habits will change. Your speech will change. Your thoughts will change. But you have to do it. God helps those who help themselves. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. Joshi, you are muted,ครับ.
Jai Shri Krishna, Kapoor Sahib, very well said. Our sharir, our body has billions of cells, and each cell has the memory. When we said we represent the entire universe, it's true, so true. And when we believe by sadhana and practices of Bhagavad Gita, every cell of our body is energized with that divinity. And that's how our aura is felt by others. The whole body starts illuminating with the grace of Sri Krishna, grace of Sri Gurudev. At this time, I will request Dr. Prasadji to please take a class of ours. We are really good students. Thank you very much, Dr. Sahib. Go ahead. I will take it.
Thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna, everybody. Jai Shri Krishna, Joshi Ji. Jai Shri Krishna, young Amon, who had contributed his beautiful verse. Sakhaiti matva prasadam yuktam he Krishna he Yadava. Wonderful, really wonderful. How he laments and falls on the feet of Bhagavan. How did I treat you before and what you are? He had no idea what Bhagavan and his capacity was. It is very, very, very good. And maybe after I have a prayer, then I will come back. My prayer to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Vansi vibhusita karan navnir daba pitambara darunabimba paladharosta Purnendu Sudar Mukha Arvind Netra Krishna Param Kimapi Tatvamaham na jane Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Before coming or continuing with the discussion on chapter 4, I am also energized a bit to say a few words what our brother Dr. Narendra Kapoorji has talked about, the galaxies and the stars and the billions and trillions of all those. Whatever may be the current scientists and their knowledge expand and talk about the galaxies and all of them, Bhagwan, in his grace, mentioned about this himself in chapter 10, when Arjuna wanted to know from him, Bhagwan, Vistare Atmano Yoga. Please tell me your yoga, your vibhuti in as much detail as possible. I want to know about your vibhuti in great detail. And Bhagavan said, almost he laughed at him and told him, Arjuna, what you want to know about whatever things you have in your mind exists in one fraction of mind. Athava bahunetena kim gyatena tava Arjuna vistavyahamidam kritsram ekang sena stitat jagat. The whole entire universe is just existing in a fraction of my entire self.
Wow.
There can never be anyone, even Bhagavan, when describing his own vibhutis, gets lost. No need to just see, I'm going to show you, and then whole thing starts. I don't want to go into that. Just I got a bit energized having heard Dr. Narendra Kapoorji explaining so beautifully this part for us all to understand and realize the graciousness and wide expanse of the whole universe, macro and also micro. Now, last week, I had gone with you the first half of this chapter, of this verse 13 of chapter 4. I have gone in some detail about Chatur Varanyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasa. But in this slide, I have given a summary of whatever I have mentioned in the last week and put them into these 3 categories for us to have a bird-eye view of this concept of Chatur Varanyam, 4 castes or 4 color or 4 varna, whichever may you call it. As mentioned by Bhagavan, this is based on Guna Vibhag and Karma Vibhag. And I have again mentioned that in great detail last week. In summary, when we talk of caste or color, we have these 4 here: the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. You may put color behind each of them. And as I have put in here, it's a white This is Brahmana, may be represented as white, indication of Sattva, which is again, the color of Sattva is white. Kshatriyas as red, red is the color of Rajas. Predominantly, Kshatriyas are Rajas. The Sudras are predominantly Tamas, and black color is indicative of the Tamas in so far Guna is concerned. And Vaishya have the combination of red and black. Now, when we talk of Guna, then these four categories of caste are divided in Guna Brahmana, Guna Kshatriya, Guna Vaishya, and Guna Sudra. So, these gunas, of course, are depending on a combination of three gunas. As you all know, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, these three gunas, each and every individual, they have this guna unless they have overcome the effect of guna and become gunatita. And that is the effort which each and every individual should have to cast off the three gunas one after another. At least try to reduce or get rid of tamas, try to reduce, get rid of rajas, and ultimately live in sattva till such time one is able, or you are able to get over that as well. But as long as one has guna in them, they will have the combination of satogun, rajogun, and tamogun in various proportions. And it is the proportion of these three guna that determine whether you belong to this category of caste, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Sudra. So what is happening? Who are the Guna Brahmanas? Guna Brahmanas are those who are having in them prominently Sato Gun. They have Sattva predominance. They will have little of Rajas and trace of Tamas. The Tamas will be very minimally there, and we call it SRT. This is predominantly Sattva, some Rajas, and minimal Tamas. When we come to Kshatriya, they have predominantly Rajas, fair amount of Sattva, and trace of Tamas, and we categorize them as RST. Coming to Vaishyas, they have fair amount of Rajas, little Tamas, and trace of little Tamas and trace of Sattva. So they are RTS. And Sudras, they are predominantly Tamas, TRS, little Rajas, and trace of Sattva as well. Now, this is the category of Guna Vibhag and caste accordingly. When it comes to Karma Vibhag, then these will be Karma Brahmana, Karma Kshatriya, Karma Vaishya, and Karma Sudra. So they are Brahman by karma, or Kshatriya, or Vaishya, or Sudra, depending upon the type of karma they are involved or they are performing. They are intellectuals, thinkers, or visionary, preachers, researchers, all these people with high intellectuals. These are the people, those who have these activity in them, they are classified as Brahmana. On the other hand, rulers, administrators, defense personnel, those who are fighting war, saving the borders, all these are categorized into Kshatriyas. On the other hand, businessmen, manufacturers, farmers, traders, these are the group of people who are taken as Karma Vaisya. And those who are Sudra, Karma Sudra, they are largely unskilled laborers. So this is a kind of chart which has been being presented now for a clear understanding of the Guna Vibhag and Karma Vibhag, according to which all these caste differentiation has been made. Now we leave that there, but just to make it clear here that these are the categories of individuals, but person belong to any category, any individual has way to reach Brahma, reach Paramatman. Anybody having any caste, any varna, any karma, each one of them has the possibility of getting rid of their guna and reach Brahma, which Bhagavan has very clearly mentioned in chapter 14, verse 45, when he says, Sway sway karamanya virataha sansiddhim lavate naraha swakarma nirataha siddhim yatha vindati tachrunu. O Arjun, each man devoted to his duty can attain perfection. He has the possibility of attaining a state of perfection, siddhi. And how he attains perfection? Listen from me, hear now. Listen. What is that way? Yata pratyabhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim bindati manava. The key word is tamabhyarcha, worshipping him while performing his duty. If he is engaging himself in the worship of Bhagavan with his all attention, mind, all submitted to Bhagavan, if he performs his duties, then he will have there's no way he can be left behind. He will progress and reach the state of perfection. So this much we have talked about the 4 karma and their performance. The second half of that verse is Tasya kartar bimam vidya kartar mabhyayam. He says, though I am the creator of all this, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam, fine, I have created that. But Arjuna, no, mam vidya akartaram avyayam. Now, in the following slides, attempt is being made to understand what Bhagavan means by using these 3 beautiful words. First he says, Mam Vidya, know me. What does it mean by that? He says, Akartaram, I am non-doer. What does it mean by that? You say that I have created, I have done, and now you are saying, I am not the doer. Avyayam, changeless. How can it happen? When you perform action, energy is spent, so many things are spent, but you say you remain changeless. Avyayam. Let us analyze or understand what Bhagavan means by these 3 statements. One is A, that is Vidya. Mam, Vidya, know me. What does it mean by know me? He, in fact, making a reference to the verse when he says, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti surjana. We have read that and gone through that in verse 9 of the same chapter. When Bhagwan says, Mam Vedya Arjun, remember me, that means he's referring to this word, these words which he mentioned in verse 9 of chapter 4, when he says, Janma karma cha me divyam. My action and my janma both are divine. Bhagavan is saying, Arjuna, keep in mind all the time. And through Arjuna, Bhagavan is telling each one us, remember, don't take it, my action, as that of an ordinary person. Don't take it that my birth is just like ordinary person. Remember, keep that all the time in your mind, that my actions are divine, my birth is divine. And then you analyze whatever activity is going on in the world. Now let us see what is in depth of all this statement of Bhagavan. Let us have a look at three words, three significant words. Why I am telling this is because from here on starts very deep understanding of karma and karma yoga. You will see karma and karma yoga has mentioned in Bhagavad Gita throughout, from beginning, from second chapter itself till 18th chapter. Of course, the first six chapters, there is concentration of thoughts on karma yoga. But this part, which is now started to build up, Bhagavan is the way Bhagavan has mentioned or analyzed all the three yoga. He builds up, he prepares the ground from beforehand, and then he will take you at the height, at the peak of it, and let you ponder over, think over, manana, nididhasanam, all the things you do, then only you can reach the climax. It is not a simple matter. What is karma? Well, we take it as activities karma. No, there are so many things, small things, it builds up. Let us see the three words. There is a word called kriya, there is karma, and there is a leela. What do you mean by kriya? Kriya means an activity that takes place. जो कर्म होता है, एक होता है कर्म होना और दूसरा होता है कर्म करना. One is the activity is taking place. Another is that action is performed. That is the difference between kriya and karma. How is activity taking place? Well, we all know, we breathe, our heart is pumping, blood is being supplied all over the body, kidney cells are functioning, so our liver and brain and all the things are going on. These are involuntary. You are not conscious. Some of them you are conscious, but most of them you are not. Even if those activities, again, I'm using the word activity, not karma. Even those activities in which our senses are involved, they remain kriya and not karma until there is involvement of that person into it. For example, even while you are there, while you are sitting there, so many things are in your visual field. You are seeing so many things in your room, here and there, all of them. Although your eye is in contact with all those objects, and the eye, there is a picture there. If you just concentrate on that, you'll find that the visual activities are going on, surrounding things are having picture in the eye, but you are not involved in that. You are looking at the slide or looking at concentrating something. Where you are concentrating, that is you are performing, you are seeing that. Other things, even though they are in your visual field, even though you are seeing, you are not seeing. Everybody knows that when you are concentrating on something, and there is a big clock in your room at midnight, turn, it goes 12 times. Sound has been produced, and definitely it has reached your ear, because you have not blocked your ears. Ear has heard those sounds, but after midnight, you will suddenly realize whether midnight has passed or not. You are so much engrossed in your study or in your something, you're so much deeply involved, watching a film or something. Sound has come in, it has gone to the ear, but you have not registered it. As long your senses are, even though they are in contact with the sense objects, if mind is not involved, the word is man, not the brain. मन अगर इन्वॉल्व नहीं है तो इंद्रियां भी काम नहीं कर रही हैं. इंद्रिया जब तक मन से उसका एक्टिवेशन नहीं होता है, the senses are only in contact with them, they are not performing action. So karma, one is involved, one is involved with the activity, with the mind association, with activity of the mind is associated, then that becomes karma. Yasya naham krito bhavo buddhir yasya lipyate hatvapi saimam lokan nahanti nanibadhyate. This is verse 17 of chapter 18. Yasya naham krito bhavo. Aham krita bhava hona chahiye. That I am performing action until and unless that activity involvement with the kartitva bhav nahi hai, then that is not action, that is just kriya. I will not expand more on that, but and I hope I have tried to make a differentiation between kriya and karma. What about lila? Lila here is divine action. Now, Leela is action which Bhagwan performs, or the active divine action are taking place. And to explain the divinity or action performed by divinity is not explained. No, aprameya. It has not been, nobody has able to understand that. I will come to that a bit later. But just to see here, another verse I'm just quoting here, just to make it the words connected with karma or action. See in this verse, this is first verse of chapter 6. Anasritah karma phalam karyam karma karoti yah sasanyasi cha yogi cha na niragnirna chakriya. So there karma phala, there is karya, there is karma, there is karoti, there is akriya. So all are connected with karma. Every word is connected with action, but they have different connotation. When we talk of akriya, that is not action, no action. And see, these are complex words will come up very soon. Karmane karmya pasit, akarmani cha karmya, all those are coming in following verses. So I'm trying to prepare that ground that we should realize the difference. When we say karma karoti, karma is here noun, and that is, once it is activated, then it becomes action performed. Karma karoti. I say karjam karma karoti. That means karjam is a visheshan or adjective of karma. Which kind of karma should be performed? So you see, this karja here is a adjective to karma. And of course, karma phala is the result of. So kind of karma which is performed and its result, that is what is meant here. Of course, it is anaskrita without depending upon that. If he performs, he is a sannyasi. I'm not going into detail about that. Just trying to explain the difference between these various words which Bhagavan uses to make us understand what it means. Akriya, that means even though action is performed, that action is not considered to be action. It is non-action or not action. That will come later on. So we see in explaining this for beings, and when we talk about beings, human being also, the plant, animal, everyone, they all have senses and sense objects contact. Once there is involvement of senses and sense objects and mind association, this is for beings. But for Bhagavan, it is Leela. It is his divine action. It is the Leela performed by him. Now, what is understood by this Leela? When we say Leela, divine action, what does it mean? Maybe there is, okay. I am just quoting this verse 15 from chapter 13, where Bhagavan says, Sarvendriya gunabhasam, Sarvendriya vivarjitam, asaktam sarva bhrikcheva, nirgunam guna bhautricha. Guna sarvendriya vivarjitam, no senses, is devoid of all senses, but he is the Sarvendriya Gunabhasa, he is the perceiver, he is the karta of all sense objects. He is perceiver of all sense objects. Whatever sense objects are there, who is the perceiver? Who perceives? It is a very difficult question. This question was asked by a Sishya to his guru in Kena Upanishad. In Kena Upanishad, he puts Kene sitam presitam manaha. Kena sitam patati presitam manaha. How is it that the mana is able to appreciate the result of interaction between sense and sense object? This is a very deep question, and whole Kena Upanishad is describing all the process. Ultimately, answer is not there. Nobody knows. And that is Leela. That is the Leela of Bhagavan. How Bhagavan at the age of 6 months, Putana ka badh kar diya. How a 6-month-old child can kill such a giant snake? How he can put Govardhan Parbat on his finger? How when Maya Soda asks him to open his mouth, and Maya Soda finds the whole entire universe into the mouth of baby Krishna. There are so many Leela, full of them, and nobody has able to understand that. It is beyond, and it is the word अप्रमेय, दिमाग से सोचने के बाहर है, beyond the thinking of human being. You see how beautifully he talks about in this verse. Although devoid of senses, of course he is nirgunatit. How can there is any guna in Bhagavan? He is beyond his pavitra. He is beyond all these. He is having no guna at all. So when there is no guna, how he can appreciate guna? this all you can keep on thinking. You will spend the whole night thinking about it, how it can happen, and you will have a big problem. But it is worth looking at, worth examining, worth diving deep into the understanding how this happens. And well, there are so many things one can get lost into it. Nonetheless, what I'm trying to emphasize, that Bhagavan himself is saying that I am sarvendriya vivarditam. I am completely devoid of all senses, yet sarvendriya gunabhasam. No indriya can function without me. कहते हैं ना, पत्ता भी नहीं डोल सकता है भगवान के बिना. So that is 100% true. So asaktam, of course, there is question of he is unattached. Sarvabhricha, he takes care of everybody. He is sustainer of all. Nirugunam gunbhitricha, that he is sustainer of all, and he is also enjoyer of all the qualities. Now, Bhagavan himself talks about in verse 14 of 13, Sarvatah panipadam tat sarvato chisiro mukham sarvatah srutimal loke sarvama vritya tisthati. Now think, Bhagavan is saying, Hamare haath sab jagah hai. My hands and feet are everywhere, and eyes and heads and mouth everywhere, ears are everywhere. He exists, pervading, enveloping everything. So do you mean to say that Bhagavan needs to have his feet to go travel from one place to another? Does he need hand? आप अपने घर में प्रसाद चढ़ाते हैं भगवान को, वो does he have his mouth there to eat? And another 1,000 or millions of people वो प्रसाद चढ़ाते हैं भगवान को, वो खाते कैसे हैं? भगवान कहते हैं कि सब तरफ मेरी मुख है, मेरा मुख है, सब तरफ मेरे हाथ है, सब तरफ मेरे पैर हैं. फिर भी भगवान कहते हैं अपानि पादौ जवनो गृहत्वा पश्यत चक्षुषः श्रोणकृत. श्वेताश्वतर उपनिषद में आया है, अपानो पादो, बिना हाथ के वो सब कुछ पा लेते हैं. He does not need hand to receive things. He does not have feet to travel from here. He does not need eyes to see. He does not need ears to hear. Everything is available to him. Everything is enjoyer, because he is the one who is providing power सब जगह. तुलसीदास से कहते हैं, बिनु पग चलई सुनई बिनु काना कर बिनु करई करम विधि नाना. तुलसीदास कहते हैं, बिनु पग चलई, बिना पैर को चलते हैं, सुनाई बिनु काना, बिना कान के सुनते हैं, कर बिनु करई, सारे काम बिना हाथ के करते हैं. He does not need all those things. These things are all time available to him. And simply, I will explain again, because time looks like I am crossing beyond 7. So I will stop here, but this is a wonderful thing to go through. I will maybe explain a bit more next week, Joshi ji. I think I have to stop. Should I continue? I can continue all along.
It's 9 o'clock Chicago time now.
Yeah, I think so. And you have not spoken. You have not spoken today. I have taken all your time.
That's okay. It was a beautiful presentation today. Very powerful. Thank you.
Yes, Krishna. Yes, Krishna.
Krishna, everyone. Jai Krishna, Geeta Kiran ji, you're with us. thanks to Dr. Prasad Kapoor Sahab, and thank very much to Amonji. And I suggest Amonji to join us every Thursday and try to come every Sunday. And at the end, thank you everyone, all of you from India, Dubai, Vrindavan. Join us again. Thank you very much. I will share something next time on chapter 13. But Dr. Saab, it was a very powerful discussion today by you and Dr. Kapoor. And please continue this concept that Prasad you have brought today. It was very, very deep, yet very simple. No hand can walk everywhere, no foot to walk everywhere, no hand to give, no eyes to see everywhere. This is, if understood, so much is understood. Thank you very, very much for it. It was very powerful, analytical discussion. I didn't miss anything by not talking. It's much better to listen sometimes than to talk. And Kapoor Sahab, whole universe is in us, no doubt about it. All the billion cells are divine, and God is there in every cell, and again in us as a whole He is there. Beautiful things have happened today. Beautiful. Thank you all very much for joining and getting this powerful wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. We'll see you again next Thursday. It's 10 o'clock in New York. I will sleep very well today. It was a very powerful presentation by both of you. Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Shri Ji, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Okay, everyone. I think everybody is gone.